What's up, everybody? King of Fomo here, coming at you with your daily crypto update. Today, we're going to be talking more about NFTs. We'll talk about some of the NFTs that I've flipped successfully, and we'll also talk about the state of NFTs as a whole. Full disclosure here, guys, I am not an expert at all on NFTs. I'm really new to this stuff overall. But just like when I first started this channel, I don't really like doing anything in crypto without making videos talking about it and asking the community kind of what's up instead of just going at it lone wolf. I found that that's kind of my least success, is doing things by myself without involving myself in the community. So that's one of the reasons why I'm starting to talk about this stuff. But if you're looking for somebody more qualified to find good NFTs, I recommend that you watch somebody else. However, I can give you a fresh look at things since I have a fresh pair of eyes on this NFT stuff overall. The first thing I will do, though, two things really. I'll talk about Arbitrum really quickly. Most of the coins, I made a video about Arbitrum a few days ago, and a majority of the coins are down upwards of 80% or more. And that's just because these coins are kind of designed to do that. They're printing themselves to death, and nothing's really redeeming them too much. However, I will say this, Arbitrum's not going anywhere anytime soon, so definitely keep an eye on this. It's not like it's going to not be successful because some of these coins dumped. Arbitrum still is a pretty good solution to Ethereum's fees, and I think a lot of things are going to move over to it sometime soon. And the other thing is, I don't have it pulled up right now. If you guys want to join my Patreon, hopefully I'll have more stuff to talk about, especially when the Cardano mainnet really gets going. But that Patreon is going to help you get my videos 1 to 2 to 3 days early, as well as access to my Discord group where we talk about things like NFTs and other stuff. So as we take a look at this NFT stuff right here, we have a lot of new ones up and coming. One of the big ones that I've seen today and for the past couple of days is Sneaky Vampire Syndicate. This one was actually talked about in my Discord a few days ago. I think this was before it launched, and lo and behold, this is one of the most successful NFTs for this week. In addition to that, I guess I can show you guys some of the NFTs that I've purchased. Let me just give you guys a little heads up on what I'm looking at. I'm really trying to crunch the numbers on this. I know a lot of the NFT space has to do with figuring out which community is the strongest. I feel like that's one of the main correlations to how big these NFTs can get. If they have a very strong community, it doesn't really matter that much what the NFT does or what it really looks like too much. I mean, it shouldn't look completely amateurish, and it shouldn't be 100% useless. But at the same time, I think the number one determining factor is community. There are some people in this space, YouTubers and Twitter people, who kind of start the communities and really just run these things from the ground up. And I'm definitely not one of those people, but there are people that are kind of controlling this space. So those are good ways to find successful NFTs if you're looking for some of these people in the NFT space that have been successful. They're kind of paving the path to success for a lot of these newer NFTs. But here's a couple that I've been looking at. One of them is Holy Cows. Holy Cows looks like an interesting project to me. And my personal strategy with these things, and again, this could be completely wrong, but my personal strategy is to not really worry too much about getting whitelisted and getting some of the pre-sales for the NFTs, but really looking for the potentially good ones after they're launched and after the price dumps a little bit. So that's sort of my plan and strategy for purchasing some of this stuff, because a lot of times when you have the NFTs get minted, the whole FOMO is kind of over at that point, or at the lowest right after the NFTs are minted. And that's when, like 2 or 3 days after that, is when people usually start to sell off and, lose faith in their NFT overall. And I think that's the best price that you can get it. You can usually get it at lower than, its mint price if you can find some of the gems like that. But there's some other qualities that I look at too. I don't just try to buy all cheap NFTs. But nonetheless, Holy Cows is one that I think has potential to go up. I've been actually looking for some cheap Holy Cows probably today or tomorrow as kind of the hype dies down, because they did actually reveal their mint, or reveal. I think it's just reveal. They revealed what these things looked like a couple days ago. So hopefully we can get these things a little bit cheaper today or tomorrow. The other one is Video Game Dev Squad. I think they renamed themselves a Coin Games Dev Squad. This is an NFT that I'm holding for the long haul, and I collected a few of these things because I do think that the team for Coin Game Dev Squad is fairly good. Now, if they can get their game or their mini game launched within the next 6, 7, 8 months, I think that's going to be really, really good for these NFTs. And the price is sort of stabilizing around 0.2 to 0.1 Ethereum. If you can get some of these Coin Games or Video Game Dev Squad NFTs at around that price, you're getting it at a steal, at least I think. And then after these things get launched, their official game gets launched, I think we'll see a lot of rising in the price of the Video Game Dev Squad. Big if, though, the team has to deliver. This is one of those things where they don't have the largest community in the world like a few of the other ones that we see, but they do have potential. Another one that I purchased, this is one that I like the aesthetic of it, is UwuCrew. Now, UwuCrew, I think they also have I think there's a lot of buyers for UwuCrew that purchased these in the past like 3 or 4 days, and these buyers are buyers who have been successful with NFTs in the past, and that's another kind of metric that I'm using. If other people, successful people, and this is kind of what I mentioned earlier, if successful people are purchasing up an NFT, it seems like they're preparing to pump it. And the same thing happened with Axolotls, which we'll look at a little bit later too. But UwuCrew, I think, is in a prime position. It's set up very similar to some other NFTs in the past, where you have your big time buyers kind of loaded up over the past few days. And I think that maybe in a week or so, the UwuCrew can go up a lot higher. Now, again, this is a rookie's opinion. I could be completely wrong. You guys can look at the detail yourself on Nansen or in other places, but that's just my thoughts in particular. I'm looking to get some of these things cheap if people kind of get scared with this as well. Currently, their floor price is 0.08 Ethereum. So you can compare it with this video and see if things change from there on out. And I think that covers it for the NFTs that I have. And then we can kind of go back and look at a few other things that I'm looking at. Again, you guys can tell me in Patreon or on Telegram if I'm doing the wrong thing, if I'm doing the right thing, or if you have no idea. But another thing that I like to look at besides Nansen, we're not really going to talk too much about Nansen today, but is rarity.tools. This is a place, if you guys are new to NFTs, where they have pretty much everything. If you're looking to see how rare your new NFT is, it will give you a ranking of 0 to 10,000 or 1 to 10,000 on how rare your NFT is if you have one. Or if you're looking to purchase a rare one, it gives you very, very good metrics on that too. I mean, we can type something in here. So let's see if we can type in all collections. We'll just do the UwuCrew since we just looked at it. But if we take a look here, it'll tell you all of the NFTs by ranking. And if you can see, if you think this one's worth 12.5 ETH, if you think it's a steal, you can go ahead and purchase the number one NFT there. Or you can look in the top 50 or top 100 if you can get a cheap one, which is what I've been doing with Holy Cows and what I've been doing with UwuCrew. If I find a cheap one in the top 100, like cheap enough for my taste, then I try to pick it up. And maybe I can be able to flip that a little bit later on. Another one, well, we'll look at Axolotls in a second because I was able to actually flip that one for a pretty good price. And another thing you guys can look at here, if we go to the homepage for rarity.tools, you can look at upcoming NFTs too. I know a lot of you guys who are trying to get on the whitelist for stuff. If you got that time on your hands, then you can see what's coming out tomorrow, what's coming out today. It'll give you the times, and you can jump in the Discord and get those as cheap as you think you can. If you think it's not going to dump after the mint price, but you got to look at a lot of things. I know one of the NFTs that launched today was Soul Chicks on Solana. And I think they asked for a little too much. They asked for about $3 million on day one, and they didn't have that much of a community built to be able to sell $3 million worth of NFTs. I'm not sure where they are. They should be here, but I don't see them. So with that, I don't think they sold all of their their initial available NFTs, and that's not really a good thing because you haven't established a value for your NFT until you've sold all of them at the mint price. So like I said, there's a lot of different things to look at when it comes to trying to find the value in some of these newer ones here. And then finally, like I said, we'll talk about Axolotl. So this is just the one of the, I guess this is the only one that I've been successful with so far. So these are actually doing really well. I bought my Axolotl for I think 0.05 Ethereum, and some of these things are selling for pretty high prices, 24 Ethereum, 9 Ethereum, and people have been able to get I think up to 2.4 or 0.24 Ethereum for theirs right now. So that's about a maybe a 4x from what I purchased mine at maybe about a week and a half ago from this. So project that might still do well. I'm just a little wary with some of these projects because Axolotls was the one where I mentioned that this is just kind of a picture NFT. And again, like I said, the main thing that matters is community. If your community is strong enough, then your NFT can really just do anything out there. So those are my thoughts on all of that. I think I've covered pretty much all that I needed to cover. I guess the final thing I'm going to say is my other strategy, in addition to finding some of these things as cheap as I can after mint and after the hype has died out, but my other strategy is to find projects that have a potential future that aren't just going to be the quick pump and dump of the week, and hodl them for a longer period of time. My Axolotl took about a week to sell at a little over 2x the price, and I'm assuming that a lot of these other ones are going to take some time. These are not like coins that jump up 50% overnight on the day that you buy them. Usually it takes a lot longer, and it takes some strike of luck for some of these things to do really well. And chasing the next NFT, unless you're really rich and you can afford some of these gas fees, it's just not something that I'm doing right now. I'm looking to either find out what makes these things pop, or hold for a longer period of time to get a return on some of what I'm purchasing in on right now, as opposed to doing this completely wrong and just losing everything. So we'll see what happens. I'll continue to document my NFT journey. Let me know what you guys are doing in the Telegram channel or in the Patreon chat. I don't have my comments turned on for my videos for a lot of different reasons. I know some of people might be confused about why I haven't had comments on for the past month and a half. Mainly it's because cryptocurrency videos have the most scams and spam in the comments of all time, and I'd rather just not have comments at all than to sift through them sometimes. So that's my take on that. But of course, I'm more than happy to talk to you guys in Patreon and in Telegram, so go ahead and click on those links below, and I will see you guys there. Let me know what you guys think about these NFTs. Let me know what you guys think about Arbitrum as well, and other altcoins. Hopefully we'll be doing some Cardano videos, because that mainnet has been out for a few days now. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.